My name is Amy Hindman. I am the school resource officer for District 112.
My name is Ross Goldbaum. I'm a student at Edgewood Middle School.
My name is Mike Lubelfeld. I'm the superintendent of schools for North Shore School District 112.
My name is Marcy Kolbach. I teach CMA, which stands for Communication Media Arts.
Hi, I am Liv Bush-Moline, and I am in 8th grade.
I'm Skylar Sled, and I'm in 8th grade.
I'm Jai Patel. I'm a student leader and founder of Students Demand Action Hudson County. I'm on the National Advisory Board for Students Demand Action in every town.
I'm Spencer Sabbath. I'm a director on this film and an 8th grader at Edgewood Middle School.
My name is Evelyn Gehrig, and I'm one of the directors of this film.
I'm Jacob. I'm one of the directors on the film.
When I walk into a room, I think of where the exits are and what I would do if someone armed came into the room.
Even when I'm just going to the bathroom or walking around the hall to go to my locker, I get scared that I'm not going to have anywhere to go if there's a hard lockdown.
Arming teachers isn't a viable solution because it's not a teacher's job to have a weapon of destruction and that's capable of killing someone. That's the police's job. That's a security guard's job. That's not a professor or a teacher's job. And that's the end of it. They were not hired to kill people or to defend people. They were hired to teach.
Imagine you're in a classroom with 29 screaming kids. I love you guys, but 29 screaming kids calling your name. There's a lot of chaos. There's moving around. And then there's an intruder and you have a gun. Yeah, no. It's not gonna be good.
If a child was ever lost, or a staff member was ever lost, or a parent or community member was ever lost in an act of violence on one of our schools, it would be devastating. It would be something I don't know that I could ever even get over.
In my career already, I've been involved in incidents where people have lost their life. It changes you in the sense that those are incidents that you don't forget.
Well, I told you my story about the coffee cup, right? That morning when the Blue Point system was accidentally triggered in the morning before school, all I had with me was my coffee cup. And the whole time I'm thinking well, what do I do when the person comes in? I was in the front of the building, which is where they say it's going to happen. And so I was I was full of coffee. I'm do I pour the coffee out here on the ground so I have an empty cup to throw if somebody comes in the door? Or is the coffee good if I throw the cup with the coffee in it? These are things we have to actually contemplate and think about as members of society and teachers in the current year.
I had a discussion with a student not long ago, and he said to me point blank, "Oh, Mrs. Kolbach, it can never happen in Highland Park." When I was 17 years old, Lori Wasserman Dan entered Hubbard Woods School and opened fire in a second grade classroom. Not too long after that, they started happening more and more and more.
I went to the mall with my friends. Within 2-3 minutes of him sitting down and him and I figuring out what we want to eat, fighting broke out and chairs were being thrown. They were screaming on the other side of the food court. And then we heard the first gunshot, and people around us froze, and we froze. We were planted to the spot because you go to places not thinking, oh, I'm gonna hear a gunshot here. This is how I should react. And it was my first time hearing a gunshot. So, and then the second shot went off. I unplugged the charger. I grabbed Gex, and I was like, yo, we have to get the hell out of here. And we ran towards the escalator, which is on the other side. But as we passed every single store, their gates were shut. We start banging on the gate of Zoomies. I'm like, yo, let us in, because thanks to previous mass shootings in public places, we automatically assumed that this was going to be another mass shooting. Thankfully, someone opened the gate of Zoomies. We crawled in, we hid in the back room. An hour or so later, we were released. We went home. I got home. I was extremely angry. I immediately organized a rally to call attention not only to the violence at Newport Mall, but the violence all across our city. Because this school year alone, we've lost 4 kids to gun violence. Just the school year alone, and that's 16. I think the oldest was 17, and he had just had a kid. Later, we found out that the shooting was, gang related. I'm telling you, you cannot make this up. Every time I go in a room and my mind wanders, in class at college too, I'm just if he entered through there and started there, How could I possibly intercept him? What could we do to intercept him? Would I be ready? Where am I sitting? Am I near the exit? Like,
Nicholas Cruz starts shooting into my classroom, and he shoots my best friend next to me, Alex Schachter, Elena Petty. All I was thinking was who's gonna be left? Which friends of mine are gonna be left? Am I gonna be the only one in the entire school? 17 people died. 17 people died. And now I'm just reliving it every single day. Every single day it comes back to me.
I've been to many events in churches. I've been to many events where there's an opening prayer to honor victims and stuff like that. It's okay. I don't mind. However, if that's the only thing you're going to say, politician-wise, our thoughts and prayers are with you, that is bullshit. Like, politicians, you cannot say that. Absolutely not. Because you have the means to do more than just that. Give us your thoughts and prayers, but also support legislation, co-support legislation, come up with legislation that ensures this never happens again.
For every 12 guns, there's only 10 people in the country. There's a clear problem here.
This isn't a Republican or Democrat issue. This is an issue about students like me and students like my friends dying at their schools. This is a gun issue, this is a mental health issue, and we are too busy arguing and not busy enough listening to each other. There is no excuse why we should have these events happening on such a frequent basis. There's no excuse.
If you're just a normal U.S. citizen, don't feel like you don't have a voice. You can do something. You can reach out to your local politicians. You can send an email. You can write a letter. You can call in, tell them your opinions, and tell them what you want them to do. Because at the end of the day, they represent the people, not the NRA.
I don't understand. We are in a crisis, and the crisis is that our children are dying. Every day we hear a story about a child who goes to school and is murdered. And it's unlike any country in the world.
I'm proud of all the procedures that we've put in place to make this school very safe, but the things that we see in the news, the things that we hear, they're very real.
If we can't protect our children in schools, then who can we protect?
What the hell is going on? Just get down! Just get down! Slow down! Calm down! It's fine! Calm down!
I just said, Mom, I love you so much, and I think I'm gonna die.
I learned to duck from bullets before I learned how to read.